So what makes an ex want to come back after a breakup? It's a question that not a lot of people ask, and I would argue it is the most important question that you should be asking if you want to get your ex back. So today, not only are we going to be answering that question, but we're also going to be discovering how complicated it actually is when you boil it down. Now, luckily, one of the best ways that we can answer a question of what makes an ex come back is by looking at our success stories. Real life people who've actually gotten their exes back and looking at their situations and learning from them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you stick around until the end of this video, we're going to be showing you exactly why exes come back after a breakup. Now, if you really think about it, when someone goes through a breakup, it's essentially an admission that they think they can do better than you. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but at its very core, that's what it is. So what is it that makes them have that 180 and decide, you know what, I made a mistake. I want my ex back? Well, we figured that looking at real life success stories might be the key to helping you unlock this. And we definitely found some really interesting correlations between what actually makes exes want to come back. But the first thing that we really need to talk about is the big misconception that everyone has about this. So most people sit there and think that there is one singular thing that causes an ex to want to come back. Usually it's a moment or something that you do that all of a sudden makes that person want to come back. We found the opposite is actually true. So what are those things? What confluence of events need to occur for an ex to decide, I made a mistake, I need to get my ex back? Well, the first thing that we noticed from our clients is time is essential. And typically when we talk about time and getting exes back, we are often talking about the no contact rule, but I'm actually talking in a broader sense. There needs to be some distance through the breakup. Enough time has to go by for them to look at a situation differently. And that's when something else really interesting occurs. With enough time, an idealization of the past can lead to nostalgia. Now, what is nostalgia? Well, simply put, nostalgia is a longing for circumstances that no longer exist or have never existed. So, let's say that you and your ex go through a breakup and you decide to do a no contact rule and you decide somewhere along the way that you don't want to get them back. So you move on. 3 months go by. Now, initially, your ex was the one who initiated this breakup. They were the person who said, I think I can do better than you. The grass is greener on the other side. And then they went to the other side and realized the grass is all dead. And they thought, what have I done? Now, that's how it all works out in your brain, or you would think it would work out in your brain. But here's what really happens. When they see the grass is really dead on that other side, they don't sit there and think, what have I done? They double down on their mistake. And it's not until they double down on their mistake, date a few other people, and realize this is not like it used to be, that they begin to romanticize the past. They think back on the past with nostalgia, thinking back on sort of the expectations of what could have been, the opportunity cost type of an idea. And this ultimately spurs them into action and talking to you again. Real quick, I want to say that if you're new to this YouTube channel or you're trying to figure out what you should be doing to get your ex back and you're trying to learn if you even have a chance in your specific circumstance, probably the smartest thing for you to do is actually stop by our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, or take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz that can be found at exboyfriendrecovery.com. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, taking that free quiz is super easy to do. All you have to simply do is look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can fill it out and get an easy answer on what you should be doing going forward and overall what your chances look like in your specific situation. All right, so let's get you back to the video. But why do they talk to you again? Well, I think it really boils down to familiarity. I was reading this article by Psychology Today, I guess, that was talking about why we're actually seeing more people long for their exes than ever before. They're comparing it to like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s when technology didn't exist, where you could simply just contact an ex or see what they were up to via social media. So there are those concerns to look at, but they were also looking at the broader sense of familiarity. There's a certain familiar aspect of a relationship with someone you've already had. You know what to expect. And especially if you begin to romanticize or have nostalgia about how things used to be, you want to go back to that familiar feeling. Now, the peak end rule teaches us that human beings remember experiences based on two distinct points. The peak, the most exciting or intense part of the experience, and the end of the experience. Now, most of us don't have a great end to our relationship. I really don't deal with clients who come to us and sit there and say, you know what, we had the best breakup ever. It's mostly like, yeah, the breakup seemed mutual, but it really wasn't. He wanted it, and I just kind of went along with it. And the truth is that leaves people with a sour taste in their mouth. So when they look back on their relationship immediately after the breakup, that's all they're thinking about, that sour taste. But with some time and some nostalgia that goes by, you start to think about those high points, those exciting moments, the moments that make you regret leaving that person. And that's what spurs someone into action. They want that familiar feeling back because they experienced it once before, they want it again. But when we looked at our success stories, we found that that wasn't the only thing that spurred exes into action. There is an uncanny ability that exes have with regards to jealousy. Now, what I mean by that is an ex breaking up with you is essentially them saying, I think I can do better than you. The grass is greener on the other side, right? But they don't really ever account for the fact that you might find grass that's greener on the other side of your side. Here's the point. If you do go on a date with someone, only do it when you're ready. But let's say you are past your ex and you wanted to go on a date. Well, if your ex sees you on that date and they see you having fun, they see you happy, they start to get jealous. And that starts to make them realize, oh my goodness, what have I lost? Now, is this alone enough to make them want to come back? No, but it is a factor we have seen among success stories. So when you combine all of these aspects together, time, nostalgia, familiarity, and jealousy, you get kind of the perfect cocktail that makes an ex want to come back to you. Hey, so before we talk about the next thing and the next most important thing, the most important secret to getting your ex back is subscribing to this YouTube channel and getting the daily updates on videos that we're doing. I'd first like to tell you what next step that you should be doing. And the next step you should be taking at this point is figuring out whether or not you should even be trying to get your ex back. Now, luckily for you, on our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, I've put together a special quiz that's designed to help you answer this exact question. And taking this quiz is very easy. Just simply look in the description below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can get your questions answered, or at least an idea of what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back.